Hi, it's Susan Short with FBTV, and we have got a special show for you today with Mike Imbasciani. Did you study music theory as well? Or
No. I had private teachers over the years from when I was 5 till I was 16. A lot of great guitar players, and just kind of went from there. Always learned. I went to a lot of blues jams growing up too, so you always learned from everybody around you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
you were mentored by some of these older musicians. And there's so many amazing musicians that live in this area. They retire in this area.
Right.
You don't realize it. You don't think it's such,
Exactly.
a valuable area for culture and music. But, it's not like session musicians
Right.
in other places, but they all move here and they retire, which
Yeah.
is great. So,
And there's a very good. I've been around the country. I've been to Nashville. I've been to Memphis. A little bit in Atlanta, out in Texas, and every musician I meet, I tell them about the music scene here in Southwest Florida, and they're all jealous of what we have here. So this area really because I live in Port Charlotte and I play from about Tampa to Naples, sometimes on the East Coast, sometimes in Orlando, but this area, Southwest Florida, has one of the best music scenes in the country, I think.
So in addition to the Blues Rockers, you play with Simply Clapton, and that's how I know you because we interviewed Will Johns.
Right.
So how did you meet Will Johns?
Well,
And let's tell everybody who Will Johns is.
Yeah, Will Johns is the nephew of Eric Clapton, which is a pretty cool thing in and of itself. And
he was raised by Eric Clapton and taught how to play
Right.
guitar by Eric Clapton,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable.
if you can have a guitar teacher,
He's the best.
yeah.
And I think he lived on his estate most of the time.
Yeah.
He also taught him how to fish.
which that's
That's another story.
one can't go without the other.
Right.
But
How'd you meet him?
well, we play at a venue called the Twisted Fork in Port Charlotte.
Okay.
And I've played there for years because it's attached to Burt's Black Widow Harley Davidson there. So even before the Twisted Fork was there, I played there when it was just the Harley Davidson at the time.
Okay.
And so as they've grown, they have a really great big outdoor area where they have bands, nice big stage, and they've been getting more and more national and like Will international acts.
Gotcha.
And I was scheduled to open for Will one of the shows, and they knew that I had my Simply Clapton, Eric Clapton tribute show.
Oh, you
So-
already had that before you met
yes,
Will.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'll get into how that started too in a second. But so they knew I was opening for Will, and so they called me and said, just don't play any Eric Clapton because Will's going to play it. I was like, okay, that's not a problem. I have enough other material.
Right.
And so I played my set, and I met Will before the show, and I ended up sitting in with him in his set and played some Clapton material. We became friends, and he was getting ready to come back over again. He did a tour around the country, and he wanted to spend some time in Florida too before he went back to the UK. So I had some gigs booked. We booked a show at Vasani, which is down in Port Charlotte, which has a lot of great, fantastic comedians and tribute artists. And then we booked the Venice Arts Center gig,
Right, which I went to,
where I
yes.
met you. Yeah. And he was able to come down for a week. We played a bunch of shows together, and we're currently working on some other shows coming up in January.
Aren't you booked back at the Venice Arts Center in January?
Yeah, so that show will be coming up in January.
Great.
And as far as what started the Simply Clapton show, it was 2021, I believe, and the hurricane hit here.
Which one?
Ian. Yeah, not the most recent.
Not
Ian.
Helene.
Yeah,
Ian.
Ian.
We don't get hurricanes that often, but lately we've been getting a lot of hurricanes.
So when COVID hit, a lot of the gigs went away, but thank God, being in Florida, we came back faster than a lot of the other venues around the country. I had friends that were out of work for a very long time in Wisconsin, New York, LA.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. And but Florida never got that bad, and it was always a waiting game. Like, we didn't know when the gigs were going to come back, but we knew they were going to come back.
Right.
But when Hurricane Ian hit, that was a lot different, and that brought Florida down where the rest of the country was from COVID.
Right.
The hurricane brought Florida down where venues were completely destroyed.
Yeah,
I
that's
miss
terrible.
Burt's Bar in Matlacha. I played there since I was 11.
Wow. And is that open or
It got
closed?
completely destroyed.
Where is that?
That's
Where
in
was it?
Matlacha, Pine Island,
Okay.
around Cape Coral area, Southwest Florida. And so they want to rebuild eventually, but it's going to take years for that to happen. So that really brought that down. So a lot of the gigs either literally got destroyed. So I was looking at ways that I could get into some bigger venues, because with a blues band, it's harder to get into some venues because they want a bigger show, or to get in a different area.
Or they want covers.
Or they want covers, which is what I play, which is fine. But now the tribute show thing has exploded across the country.
Right.
So I developed the Simply Clapton show, which was fairly easy because I sat down and realized I need about 2 hours of Clapton songs, and I realized I already had an hour and a half. So I only had to add a couple.
Wow.
And the show has taken off very well, and to meet Will like that was great, and it's like maybe eventually I'll get to meet Eric. That'd be awesome. But
I think you just played at Royal Albert Hall
He
with
did, yeah.
Eric, right? And I know Nathan East, the bass player. He plays with Nathan a lot.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine who's a rock photographer actually just shot them in New York.
That's awesome, yeah. So basically, a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm like,
right, it's who you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
It's how good you are.
Right.
But I have to interject something,
Yes.
because when I hear the story from Will of how you met, Will really compliments you. He really does. He says he has, somebody to look at. 100%.
Well,
yeah.
and
he
doing
needs
those
to watch
shows-
you. He needs to watch.
Well, and doing those shows with Will was so much fun, because as with two guitar players like that on stage, you play well off of each other, and it becomes a whole nother thing. But yeah, when I sat in with him for the first time and we played Crossroads, and he's playing it note for note, it's like I'm standing next to Eric Clapton because he's playing. It's incredible, and it was like an out-of-body experience almost. And then you get to play with each other, and it makes it a lot of fun.
It was such an incredible show, honestly. It gave me chills. It was so good. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know what to expect, honestly. So it exceeded my expectations, and I'm not just saying that lightly. It was really good. So
Thank you.
Are you going to play us something?
Sure.
Now that we're on the subject,
Right?
Something we all recognize.
All right. There is nothing that is wrong wanting you to stay here with me. I know you got somewhere to go. Won't you make yourself at home and stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. Sunny nearly on the rise, we still got the moon and stars above. Underneath that velvet sky, love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. I long to see the morning light coloring your face so dreamily. So don't you go and say goodbye. You can lay your worries down and stay with me. And don't you ever leave. Lay it down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay it down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you.
Wow, what a great day we've had with Mike Imbasciani and the Blues Rockers and Simply Clapton. It's Susan Short, FBTV. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We'll see you next time.